Taehyung started his Weverse live on a quiet night in Seoul, surprising ARMY worldwide with the long-awaited notification. For BTS fans, this wasn't just a casual interaction. It was a precious opportunity to feel emotionally connected to their idol, who is still serving in the military. Appearing relaxed in an oversized cream sweater with his dark hair slightly messy, Taehyung showed the natural side fans had been longing to see as the camera lit up. He smiled softly and greeted, "Annyeong ARMY, how are you? It's been a while since we talked like this." His deep, calming voice immediately filled the screen with thousands of comments. Within seconds, the viewer count skyrocketed into the hundreds of thousands. It wasn't only Taehyung's presence that excited fans. He had brought a surprise, a playlist of old BTS songs. From his smile, it was clear he wanted to share a night of nostalgia with ARMY. After some light conversation, Taehyung opened his laptop, connected it to a small speaker and said with excitement, "I want to listen to BTS's old songs again because those songs are the beginning of our journey. I want ARMY to remember how it all started." The first track he played was No More Dream, BTS's 2013 debut. The moment the intro played, Taehyung's face softened with nostalgia. He lowered his gaze and said, "I still remember how nervous we were when we first performed this on stage. We didn't know if people would like us." Comments flooded in instantly. "We always loved you from the beginning. Bangtan forever." And countless crying emojis filled the live chat. Both early ARMY who had been there since debut and newer fans felt the same emotional pull of the moment. The live immediately trended worldwide on social media. Hashtags like #TaehyungWeverse, #BTS Nostalgia, and #BangtanForever dominated X, Twitter, and Instagram. Fans across America, Europe, and Asia shared video snippets of Taehyung smiling or humming along to the lyrics. Many wrote, "It feels like going back to my school days when I first heard BTS." Or, "Taehyung reminded us how long this journey has been." Interestingly, even the newer generation of ARMY, who mostly discovered BTS through global hits like Dynamite or Butter, were touched by the throwback. "I only became ARMY in 2020, but hearing Taehyung play No More Dream makes me feel like part of history," one fan posted. After playing No More Dream and other debut-era tracks, Taehyung shifted to more emotional songs. When the intro of Save Me filled the room, he smiled and whispered, "This song always has a special place in my heart." He closed his eyes for a moment, completely immersed in the melody. ARMY in the comments poured their hearts out, many admitting they cried just seeing his expression. He then played Spring Day, considered ARMY's anthem for its touching lyrics about longing and love. As the refrain played, Taehyung softly sang along, creating one of the most intimate moments of the live. But he didn't stop at playing songs. He also shared behind-the-scenes stories. When Run played, he laughed and said, "I still remember filming the MV. We ran endlessly. It was exhausting but fun because we were so young and full of energy." With I Need You, he became more serious, saying, "This was our turning point. From here, people began to take BTS seriously." Fans felt they had stumbled upon treasure. Personal stories that weren't in documentaries, only shared directly by Taehyung. Throughout the live, Taehyung stayed warm and playful with ARMY. He chuckled at a fan who wrote, "Appa, I have an exam tomorrow but I'm still watching." He replied with a playful scold, "Study first, but thank you for being here." He also smiled while reading comments from international fans in various languages, even attempting Spanish and Indonesian. Though imperfect, his effort only made fans love him more, flooding the chat with hearts and laughter. for ARMY, the impact was deeply emotional. Nostalgia brought by Taehyung wasn't only about music, but about the shared journey. One fan posted, "I cried listening to Spring Day. It felt like we've been through all the ups and downs together." Longtime fans felt recognized, while newer ARMY felt connected to BTS's history in a way they hadn't before. The next morning, Korean and international media outlets were buzzing with coverage. Headlines like "Taehyung takes ARMY back to BTS's beginnings" and "V's nostalgic Weverse live leaves fans in tears" appeared across news portals. Analysts noted that this wasn't just fan service. It was a heartfelt way of maintaining closeness during his military service. Despite the physical distance, the emotional bond remained intact. This live held even greater weight because Taehyung is still in the middle of his military duty. Fans hadn't expected him to find the time to share such a warm session. "Even though he's busy and tired, he still remembers us. That means everything," one fan wrote. His act reinforced his image as an idol who genuinely cares, not just a global superstar. Ultimately, Taehyung's Weverse Live proved a timeless truth. BTS's music is more than songs. It is a shared memory binding millions of people worldwide. Through the nostalgic playlist, Taehyung invited ARMY to relive the long journey they've walked together. For fans, it was a reminder that even if BTS is on pause due to military service, their relationship with ARMY remains alive and unbreakable. Now, the greatest hope is that once their service ends, BTS will return with new energy, while still carrying the same soul that began with "No More Dream." Fans didn't just watch, they experienced the live together. Across time zones, ARMY created virtual watch parties, streaming Taehyung's Weverse broadcast in sync while chatting on Discord, Twitter Spaces, and TikTok Live. Some fans prepared themed snacks or wore BTS merch, treating the moment like a miniature comeback celebration. For older ARMY, it felt like a reunion, while for new fans it was an initiation into BTS's legacy. Music critics also chimed in. Cultural columnist Jang Hae-min wrote, "Taehyung's Weverse Live was not only nostalgic, but also a cultural reminder that BTS is an evolving archive of contemporary youth." Western critics echoed the sentiment. Rolling Stone Asia described the live as a rare, unfiltered encounter that bridges past and present, reminding fans that nostalgia is a form of resistance against time. The live carried another layer of meaning: solidarity during BTS's hiatus. With members scattered between solo schedules and military service, moments like these reassured fans that the group's essence remained unbroken. In fact, the live was framed by many as a symbolic promise that even if BTS isn't together on stage, their hearts still beat in rhythm with ARMY's. The emotional intensity of Spring Day became a global talking point. Social platforms were flooded with fans recounting personal stories tied to the song. One fan in Brazil shared that she first listened to it during a period of grief and found healing, while another in Indonesia revealed it became her comfort track during the pandemic. Seeing Taehyung softly sing along revived those memories, making the connection between idol and fan deeply personal. Merch sales also spiked right after the broadcast. Old BTS albums like The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 1 and 2 and Wings suddenly charted again on iTunes in several countries. Fans expressed that they wanted to walk back through history with Taehyung, replaying the exact tracks he highlighted. Industry analysts noted this surge as proof of BTS's enduring impact, how a single live broadcast could reignite demand for decade-old music. Perhaps the most striking takeaway was Taehyung's sincerity. Unlike polished promotional events, the Weverse Live had no script, no grand production, Just an artist, his music, and his fans. That rawness is what ARMY described as healing. As one American fan tweeted, "I didn't realize how much I needed this until Taehyung gave it to us." Toward the end of the session, Taehyung grew quiet for a moment. He looked into the camera and said softly, "Even if I can't always be here, I hope these songs remind you that we're always connected." It wasn't just a goodbye, it was a reassurance, a subtle vow that no matter the distance or circumstance, BTS and ARMY will always find their way back to each other. The live concluded, but its ripple effects continued. Fan-made compilations spread across YouTube, some garnering millions of views within hours. Articles in Korean,